Stop the Nonsense, Episode 8 is back and ready for action. So, number 8, what do we got? Yogi Berra.
Alex Ovechkin.
Alex Ovechkin's a good one. Who was I just thinking of? It was another hockey player. Teemu Solani.
Rapist Kobe.
Rapist Kobe. My personal favorite
Allegedly.
of all time.
Allegedly.
Steve Young. My favorite 8 of all time.
That's a good one.
All right, so the nightmare is finally over. I sound a little loud. I'm going to turn down the gain on this mic. But, yeah, so the nightmare is finally over. Bryce Harper has a home. Bryce Harper is a Philadelphia Philly, which I don't know if we predicted that, but I think I did say at some point I expected him to land there, or I might have said I expected him to go back to D.C. I don't remember because it dragged on so long.
Yeah, I'm just happy it's over.
So am I. I'm so happy it's over. So he's in Philly. Machado's in San Diego. Harper gets 13 years, $330 million. The Phillies came out and said they were ready to spend stupid money. I don't really think that's stupid money. I think that's stupid years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, $25 million a year for a guy of Bryce Harper's caliber isn't bad.
No.
In today's market, but 13 years. I mean, when that contract's up, I'm going to be 41.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Me too.
It doesn't sound fun.
No. That sucks.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love Bryce Harper, but 13 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. If I were him, I would have taken the offer that LA was offering him, where it was like, they rumored to offer him like 4 or 5 years for like $43 million a year.
Yeah,
that's the deal I would have taken, because then I'm making $45 million a year for the next 4 years or 5 years, and then I'm a free agent again at 30 or 31.
Yeah, if you don't like your situation in LA, you can just leave and go somewhere else.
Yeah, that would have been the deal I would have taken. But maybe he really wanted to be in Philly.
He said he wanted to just finish his career with one team, so.
I guess that's it. He also said he wants to bring a title back to DC.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Bryce Harper, not the smartest man alive.
Old habits die hard, I suppose.
Yeah.
But all right, who do you think got the better deal here out of Harper, Machado, and Arenado? Or the 3 big deals that like just came across?
I don't really know.
For me, I'd go with Arenado.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards too.
I mean, he got 32.5 per year for the next 8 years, and he's gonna be hitting in Colorado.
Yeah, he stays where he's been playing.
He's gonna be putting up numbers.
He's not. He didn't burn any bridges.
No.
All around a good situation for him.
I wish he would have burned a bridge and built one to New York. Would have been nice.
Definitely would have been
nice. But now we got Andujar. Now Andujar's the guy.
Yes.
Now, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. He's not being traded because Machado's off the board. Who are you going to get? Who are you going to get now?
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you would you move Didi to third, shortstop becomes available. I don't know. Who knows? But for now, obviously, we're looking at Andujar at third here. Tulowitzki's going to start the year at short. He's been playing well in spring training.
Yes.
And my guy Glaber at second base. I love Glaber Torres.
Me too.
That's my next jersey, a Glaber Torres jersey. I believe before we started doing the podcast, my pinned tweet was, "I love Glaber Torres more than a grown man should."
It is. It was. I remember those days.
It's also true. My girlfriend one day was just like, "That really is true," because she just saw how I would react to watching that guy play. But who was the other deal? The Twins nabbed Marwin Gonzalez, I believe it was.
Yes.
Was it Minnesota? That's a good get for them. And now we're just waiting on Kimbrel and Keuchel are really the last 2 big guys I can think of.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Kimbrel's going to go anywhere unless he lowers his demands a little bit.
Is he still sitting on that 6-year demand?
He has to be. I haven't heard anything new about him in weeks.
That's absurd. Nobody's given him 6 years.
No.
But I guess maybe he could then go, well, they just gave Harper 13, So
And I'd be like, that's fine.
yeah,
He's like, that's an everyday guy.
it is. And Kimbrel wasn't good in the playoffs.
No.
They closed it. They put out Chris Sale to close out the World Series because they didn't trust him.
Says a lot.
It does. And for a Chris Sale who was not 100% in the postseason,
Mm-hmm.
and he pitched great anyway. But yeah. So the big free agents are off the board. Now we could focus on the games. We're about
3 weeks.
3 weeks away. I was looking at it today, and since opening day is the 28th,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a Thursday, that would mean that the 26th will be when we record our baseball preview
Very nice.
episode. So that's 3 weeks away, exactly.
Can't wait.
And that'll be our baseball preview. But that'll be the day where something ridiculous happens in the NFL or something. Where
Yeah.
we'll be all ready for a baseball preview, and then it'll be like, Robert Kraft just murdered Bill Belichick. Like, what? What? What just happened?
Why?
It doesn't make any sense. Like, something ridiculous will come across. Like when the Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
news
We're due
came.
for a big story like that.
We haven't had one,
No.
which I guess is a good thing. You don't want all these murderers running around.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know what the sad thing is, too? Besides the fact that he was a horrible person and took people's lives, he was a great player. Like,
Yeah.
you could have made the argument that they had the 2 best tight ends in the league. What a waste.
What a piece of shit.
I mean, you just all that talent and you throw it away because what was he, in gangs? We're like, moron.
Yeah.
Moron. All right. Speaking of the NFL, franchise tag has been laid on some big stars over the last week. DeMarcus Lawrence of the Cowboys.
Mhm.
He's not happy about it. He said that they won't be seeing him anytime soon and that he will not even report to camp if he doesn't have a long-term deal. So he's going the Le'Veon Bell route. Jadeveon Clowney, who I was hoping would hit free agency because I would have loved the Packers to go after him. He was franchise tagged. Smart move by Houston.
D Ford.
And D Ford is another one. Another guy who's coming to his own over the last 2 seasons. And another guy that I really would like to see in Green Bay was Grady Jarrett, and the Falcons threw the franchise tag on him. But a guy who it appears will not be franchise tagged is your boy Landon Collins. It seems like they're not going to tag him, so
What the fuck are we doing?
I-
Gettleman, what the fuck are you doing?
Does it bother you a little bit? This shouldn't bother me, and I'm not a Giants fan. But the fact that he is so Boston when he talks, I'm like, why are you running a New York team? Get out of here. I mean, there's an art to this game. These guys played really hard. Like, shut up. Am I being unreasonable?
No. But,
It's a bad optic for me.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of him right now.
I didn't think he was a good hire. I thought you guys should have hired Louis Riddick. I like Louis Riddick.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Landon Collins now is if you're not going to franchise tag him and you're just going to let him walk, you should have fucking traded him.
Yeah. Especially in a lost season.
Yeah, you could have got something decent for him.
You could have gotten something for him. Definitely. If the Packers got whatever they got for Clinton Dix, who had checked out,
Yeah.
you would have gotten something for Landon Collins.
I just don't get it. Pisses me off.
I mean, I will say this. We talked about where there were the reports that he cleaned out his locker and left and said all his goodbyes. I listened to, I think I've mentioned the Sims and Lefko podcast on this show before.
Yep.
Which is now just the Lefko podcast because Sims left, unfortunately, because that ruins, I don't want to say ruins the podcast, but it changes things. But what Lefko has been doing is kind of bringing guys in to interview. And last week he interviewed David Deal, former Giant offensive lineman.
Yep.
And David Deal was like, that story was so blown out of proportion. He goes, let me tell you what happened. He goes, because I was there. He goes, I walked, walking out, and there happens to be Landon Collins. And Landon Collins was also leaving as well, and he had on a Gucci book bag. Because, or a Louis Vuitton book bag, something like that. He's like, so that's what he did, was he cleaned out his locker. It wasn't like he threw all his stuff in a box and then angrily left. He goes, he was in a good mood. He was fine. He goes, so that was kind of blown out of proportion. He's like, So coming from a guy who played for the team and is part of the organization, I believe him over sources, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Maybe that there is room for still negotiation and for him to be brought back.
I
But
mean, I'd hope so.
yeah, I mean he's a good player.
He's awesome.
He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago.
He was. He was a monster.
He was an absolute animal that year, and if he hits the free agent market, he's going to be in demand.
Yeah.
Teams will be
Which he should be.
chasing him. And he also said that Aaron Rodgers is the best player he's played against. So I'd like him to play with Aaron Rodgers and help his defense.
That would be a huge get for the Packers.
It would be enormous, especially because we got no safeties now.
Yeah.
Traded Clinton Dix, which, even though I loved Ha, he didn't want to be there anymore. I mean, from day one in training camp, he was like, yeah, can't wait to test free agency. We're like, well, what? How about focus on the season, bro? We got a season to play here. And so then he got traded. And now we've got, Morgan Burnett went to Pittsburgh, breaking the hearts of no one. So, yeah, we need a safety. And if it doesn't come through the draft, Landon Collins would be a good get.
Could see it happening, especially if he's going to walk away for free.
Yeah, you guys I got to imagine, you got a lot of money wrapped up in Eli and Odell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much cap space do you guys have?
I have no idea.
I mean,
I don't pay attention to football cap, to be honest.
I know there was reports that you're probably looking to trade Vernon, because that's a huge contract as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
which I'm okay with.
Yeah, you know what? It's not his fault. I think the problem with Vernon, who's actually a solid player, I think that he was advertised incorrectly. Like, he wasn't the player that the media was saying he was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, he's not this sack master guy. He's a good player, but he wasn't what everybody was raving about when they signed him. But that was a huge offseason for the Giants. That was when they got Snacks Harrison, they got Olivier Vernon. Went to the playoffs, too.
They did.
Under Ben McAdoo somehow.
Ugh. Fuck that guy.
Yep.
Not a McAdoo guy.
Just another guy who Aaron Rodgers got a job. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But, you know what I saw that was kind of interesting as I jump all over from sport to sport? Adam Silver said that the All-Star game is broken. And he called it an earring on a pig. I think I know what he means as far as the weekend and everything, that it's just he wants, I don't know what you could do to fix it. I could fix the dunk contest in 2 seconds. Just demand that the stars take part in it.
Yes.
That would fix that.
That's all it takes.
But they won't, because they don't want to risk injury, and I don't think you can make them unless you put it in their contract, but they're not going to sign up for that. I don't know what else you could do unless you just get rid of the All-Star game altogether.
Which I don't think is ever going to happen.
I mean, the game, I didn't watch the All-Star game. We watched the Elimination Chamber over the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And that's scripted, and it was more entertaining to me.
Definitely. I mean, I think the only All-Star game I actually watch is probably a little bit of the hockey and baseball.
Some of that. Baseball I always watch.
Yeah.
Because you know why? I think the essence of the game in baseball is still there.
Of course it is.
I mean, hitting a baseball, in my opinion, is the hardest thing to do in all sports.
Yeah.
And nobody will ever convince me otherwise. So, at the end of the day, even though it's an all-star game, you still got the best pitchers going out there throwing filthy stuff against the best hitters.
Mm-hmm.
That's entertaining. Like last year when Judge homered off Scherzer. That was awesome.
It was awesome.
That's, arguably the best pitcher in baseball against one of the young stars, a guy who people think could be the face of the league, and he homers off him. I mean, it's great. It's fun to watch, to see those guys go up against each other. But in the NBA, I mean, you're getting 3.5 quarters of street ball where there's no defense played.
Mm-hmm.
They're throwing the ball off the backboard, which is, it's cool to see when it happens, but guys just step out of the way. Like, there's no competition for the first 3.5 quarters. Then those last, 6-7 minutes, then they'll start playing hard and try to make it a game at the end. But Other than that,
Yeah, it's like everybody in the first 3 quarters went to the James Harden School of Defense.
oh man. Although I got to be honest, if I was putting up the numbers that James Harden was putting up, I might just lay on the scorer's table on defensive possessions.
Might as
Just be,
well.
just be like, hey, you see what I'm doing on the offensive end? Now it's your turn to do something. I mean, he's unbelievable.
He is unbelievable.
It's crazy. What the heck was that? Someone just came flying down the steps. That the Oklahoma City Thunder had Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, and James Harden all at once.
Yeah.
And they traded Harden for Kevin Martin.
I forgot about that. That's who they traded.
I think there were other pieces, but that was like the main player
Yeah,
they got
that was
back.
the main piece coming back to Oklahoma.
My God.
It's so bad.
It is bad.
It's so bad.
It's horrible. I mean, James Harden is a bona fide superstar.
He really
MVP.
is.
That's bad.
He really is.
What
It's
are you
disgusting.
gonna do? That's why, and maybe that's why KD left.
Maybe. I think it's a big reason.
I mean,
Because you could have figured out some way to keep all three.
definitely. I mean, you would have had to take. They would have had to do what like the Heat did and what the Warriors are doing. Take some pay cuts.
Yeah.
It's for
Because they broke that up right after the finals when they lost to the Heat. I believe,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
man, that was so far, so long ago. It seems like forever ago.
I can't even think of when that was. 2013, 2014, probably?
I think it was 2012.
Oh, Jesus, was it that far
I
ago?
think it was 20. Yeah, you know why I know? Because I was living with my sister at the time, and that was like, I was 21. I got thrown out of my house the week of my 21st birthday. So yeah, it was 2012. That was a bad week for me, man. On Sunday morning, my car died on the outer bridge.
Yikes.
Yeah, and I kind of coasted my way to the other side. Then that night was a great night for you, horrible night for me, when the Giants beat the Packers in the divisional playoff.
Sorry, my friend.
Yeah, that was a 15-1 season. And then I got thrown out of my house the next day.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good week at all.
It was rough. And then my birthday was the next Sunday.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, so that's when it was, 2012. Man, time flies. Time flies right on by.
Yeah, fucking 7 years ago.
It's crazy. That isn't say. Did you know what I saw today that the PS2 is 19 years old?
That's absurd.
That's insane.
I remember getting one for Christmas.
Oh my God. Remember when that was like the God system?
Yeah.
Now we're talking about like a PS5 and Xbox, who knows what.
Yeah,
coming
fucking
out after this.
540.
540. It's
Oh,
not
no,
even-
well, they went away from the numbers. So it would be like an Xbox 2. I guess, right?
Xbox 2. I don't
Who
know. It was
fucking
the
knows?
Xbox One. Why did they go from the 360 to the One?
I have no idea.
What was the mindset behind that?
I don't know. Bill Gates.
My computer just shut off.
I
I don't know what's going on today. Skype wouldn't work, and my screen just went completely black. I hope it's still recording. I'm going to talk as if it is.
hope so. I mean, if you're still talking, it's working, I guess.
Yeah, all right.
This just in. Giants will not apply franchise tag to Landon Collins.
There it is.
I'm going to go put my fucking face in a goddamn oven.
Will the oven be on or no?
Oh, it's going to be on. I'm going to put that thing on broil.
Face melting. Oh, there we go. My screen's back. Saturday night, UFC 235, I believe.
Yes,
took place.
235.
I went out with my cousin to watch the fights. And I'll say one of our friends. It's one of his friends that he grew up with, but I've known the guy pretty much my whole life too. So, first of all, this place was packed. It was ridiculous. We couldn't get a seat at the bar for anything. And
When
it
you
was
get
a bunch of old people. We were like, somebody's leaving.
yeah,
No.
when it's huge cards like that, people just coming out of the fucking woodwork.
It was insane. So I was, fortunately, I did a very smart thing for once in my life. When we got there and saw how packed it was, I was like, yo, put our name in just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because if we don't get a spot at this bar, at least we'll have a table in time for the fights. And
Pro
we did get
tip:
it.
always
Yeah,
put your name down.
yes, and we did get a table before the main card started. But I gotta say, boring night of fights, if you
You
ask
really
me.
think so? I enjoyed them.
I didn't love. I just felt okay. We could take it fight by fight.
Cody
Okay,
Garbrandt knocked out 3 fights in a row. Hyped.
that was a good fight.
Hyped.
Okay, maybe I was just annoyed by the main event, but Cody Garbrandt getting knocked out, and those guys were throwing. They were. I
They were
mean,
just swinging.
yeah, they were just. That was a fight.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know
was.
what the word I'm looking for is, but they were each just swinging at each other. Really, they weren't holding anything back. So that was entertaining.
Yes.
Um,
Garbrandt went from being the champ, losing to Dillashaw by getting knocked out. They rematched. Dillashaw knocked him out again, and now he fights Munoz and gets knocked out for a third fight in a row.
he had that, so he didn't have that belt very long, did he?
No, that was his first defense was against Dillashaw. So he fought Dominic Cruz, who I hate. I hate Dominic Cruz. Fuck
Why?
that guy. Fuck his stupid footwork method that he does. I was so happy that Garbrandt beat him. That was the one time I've rooted for Garbrandt. But you go after my boy Dillashaw, I ain't having it.
Well, that happened. I actually know somebody who sparred with Cody Garbrandt. That's my girlfriend's neighbor, Paul Capaldo, who's actually he's amateur fighter right now. He fights down in AC.
Not bad.
I
What, Ring
believe
of Combat?
I believe he's 3-0. I forgot what the it's CFFC. Cage Fury
Oh,
Fighting is what it says, I guess.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
There's so many little things down there.
Yeah, not a big kid, but built like a fucking brick house. And yeah, he told. I remember when I met him, he was telling me that he sparred with Garbrandt. That was a night of fights too. The night I met him, but oh, where'd that card go? I had the card out. So Garbrandt gets knocked out,
Hmm.
and then you had, I think the women's fight was after that.
Yeah, wasn't a bad fight.
No, it wasn't. It was funny because my cousin goes, "Who should I bet on?" I said, "You got to bet on Zhang because that's an amazing name," and she ended up winning a decision. Um, and then came, in my opinion, the best fight of the night, which was Robbie Lawler and your boy Ben Askren.
Ben
And
Askren is 1,000% my guy.
yeah, and that's why I was excited to see him because you told me about Askren a long time ago.
I've known about Ben Askren ever since I wrestled in high school because I grew up 15 minutes away. Well, not 15 minutes, probably like 30 minutes away from Hofstra University. And
Okay.
Hofstra was like a powerhouse for wrestling at the time. Like Chris Weidman was over there in Hofstra at the time. So I knew Chris Weidman before he was in UFC.
That's
I
pretty
did a
cool.
couple wrestling camps with Chris Weidman at Hofstra. Phil Davis wrestled at Penn State, so I knew about him before he went to the UFC, and now he's in Bellator. And I actually went to some nationals to watch Weidman, and one of my coach's sons wrestled for Hofstra at the time too, Mike Patrovich. So yeah, I saw Ben Askren in college wrestling when he used to wrestle at Mizzou,
That's
and
pretty cool.
he's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I was like when I saw he was on this card, I was excited for that
Yeah,
because
the whole thing with Ben Askren coming to the UFC, like, so Ben Askren's been in MMA ever since. Right after college, he started training. He wrestled in the Olympics in I believe 2012. I think it was 2012. Yeah, no, yeah, 2012, definitely 2012. But yeah, he started MMA in Bellator, where he was a welterweight champion, undefeated. He left Bellator. He went to One Championship Fighting, which is based out of I believe Japan.
that's what I was thinking. I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, so he went there, continued to dominate. He was the champ there. And then he basically retired, and then that's when the whole thing with UFC trading Demetrius Johnson over to one for Ben Askren And yeah, I mean Dana White was huge against Ben Askren. Hates him. Still hates him.
Really? Why?
Yeah, he just hates him. I have no idea. Like him and Ben Askren just shit talk each other for like the past 6 years, and it's amazing. It truly is amazing. But yeah, they just don't see eye to eye. I don't think they ever will. But it's entertaining when they go after each other. But yeah, I was super excited to watch Askren fight Saturday, and he had quite an interesting debut for the UFC.
Robbie Lawler came out looking like a man on a mission.
He did.
I mean, he looked like, all right, welcome to the UFC, sir. I'm about to welcome you. I mean, that dump.
He got fucking slammed.
I haven't seen that quite often.
I think I texted you. I said that is one of the craziest things I've ever watched in my like 15 years of watching MMA.
Yeah, that was insane because he kind of went for like he was kind of trying to jump on him and grapple him, and Lawler was just having none of it and just lifted him up and slammed him.
Well, Askren shot. He went in for a shot, and he had the single leg, and he didn't get around to the front of into the front of Lawler quick enough, and Lawler had his arm free, and he just hooked Askren's leg and just fucking scooped him quick. Even Ben Askren was like, I just don't even know. He slammed me right on my goddamn head.
And you know what? I think that the ref gave Askren some leeway because I thought they could have called that fight. I thought like there was a point where Lawler was pounding on him when he was bleeding.
Yeah, but
that he could have called it.
Askren was talking about it after the fight because I usually sit down and I'll skim through like the post fight press conferences they do.
Right.
And I mean they're usually like 2.5 hours long, so I'll just skim through and listen to the guys I want to talk. Like I want to hear talk. So I listened to Askren. I listened to I think I listened to Munoz. I listened to Lawler because he was annoyed with the finish, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And I listened to Anthony Smith, and I listened to a little bit of Jones, and I ended up falling asleep. But Askren was saying when he got scooped and he was on the ground and Lawler was pounding on him, he couldn't defend himself really because his one wrist was pinned under Lawler's leg still. And I actually went back and watched it. Checked out. I was just seeing if he was just saying it to say it. Checked out. But yeah, no, Askren, I mean, he showed some adversity right there. I mean, he got out of it. And the crazy thing with Askren is that whole fight, he never gave Lawler like any space. He was always like right in his grill. So as soon as they stood back up after Lawler was pounding the shit out of Askren, Askren got him up against the cage, dropped down.
No, like feeling out process at all.
No,
you mentioned it.
No, but Askren got him up against the cage, ended up getting a double leg, taking him down along the cage, and it looked like he was about to get Lawler's back, which I think he could have. But he went in for a bulldog choke, which I never see, ever. And it looked like it was in pretty deep for the most part. And Lawler's arm actually went limp.
It went limp. That's what we all thought he was out.
Like, me too. And that's the thing. I think he did go out for a couple seconds. I think he definitely went out for like a second or two. And then when Dean went in to go check on him, I think he came back into it. But I think Herb Dean saw the same thing with the arm going limp. Because that's what refs are supposed to look for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Lawler said in the press conference that he dropped his arm to relax himself a little bit so Askren would use most of his energy trying to choke him out. Which I've seen people relax their arms. That arm went fucking limp.
I mean,
that was not relaxing.
That's a dangerous tactic to use when you know that's what the refs look for.
I think it's just a bullshit comment.
Excuse?
Yeah.
I mean, because that's why everybody was like, wow, that was a horrible stoppage. And yeah, he was quite conscious. You could see it immediately. He reacted right away. I don't think he reacted. But I can't really fault the ref Herb Dean on that because once we all saw that arm fall, we were all like, oh shit, he's out. Like,
yeah, I thought the same thing. And like he said, like there's one thing of relaxing your arm. Your arm doesn't go fucking spaghetti noodle and just drop down like that.
Yeah.
That's not how you relax your arm. That arm went limp.
Yeah.
Was it only for a second or two? Yeah, but that thing went limp.
Yeah, but you can't have him choking out a guy for 10 seconds.
No,
But,
you can't.
I mean, these are human beings who have lives in there, and that's their job. They got to protect the fighters, sometimes from themselves.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Lawler said he wants to run it back. Dana White said he wants to run it back, and Ben Askren's like, nah, I pass. he goes, he's like, it's so funny. He goes, I don't care what Dana White wants. Darren Till and Jorge Masvidal are fighting, I believe, next month in London. I think they were talking about, and Askren said he wants the winner of that. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I don't really know.
I mean,
I still don't think he has enough leeway to make calls on what he wants.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, has he
And-
earned
and-
the right to say something like that?
And knowing his feud with him and Dana White, I just don't see it happening.
Kind of just be the good soldier until you earn that type of thing.
I don't think Dana White's gonna give him what he wants for a long time.
He's gonna have to like really earn it.
Yeah.
I
But
think-
even after the fight was over, Ben Askren said, "Dana, that's the best you got." I love it. I love Ben Askren. He's a younger Chael Sonnen when it comes to trash talk. He's a better wrestler than Chael Sonnen, in my opinion.
he doesn't even look like a fighter.
He says that all the time too.
He just doesn't.
He was doing the I was watching some of the UFC embedded they do before the pay-per-views, and he was doing like the pictures of like the promo pictures they do for like, you know, when they do like the fighter matchups where it gives you like the height, weight, and everything like that.
Yeah.
So they have to do like the pictures for that. So he's standing in front of the backdrop and everything like that, and he has like no shirt on. He just has like the fighting gloves on and the he has his trunks on, and he goes, what would you do if I told you this is the prime fight optimal fighting body of someone who's about to kick someone's ass? I was like, this guy, he's out of his mind. He really is out of his mind.
Well, from that fight, we went to the co-main event for the welterweight belt, which was Tyrone Woodley, who was the champion, against Kamaru Usman. Is that how you pronounce it?
Kamaru Usman, whose real name is actually Marty. His Americanized name.
His American name. Okay.
Yes,
Yo,
Marty.
we were laughing because after he started talking, we were all like, "Yo, we expected him to have a much thicker accent than that."
No, I'm pretty sure I think he's American. Because he went to Nebraska University.
He certainly sounded it. And,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
gotta
sure
say,
he's born and raised in America.
That fight was impressive.
Kamaru Usman, like, he's been an up and comer for the past like year or two.
He's
And I've seen most of his.
American, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah. But he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, and you know what's funny about like it seems like the best fighters, now when I watch these cards, they're all 30 or older. They're not young guys.
No.
And he's 31. He was fighting Woodley. What's Woodley, like 36?
I think a little younger than that. He might be like 33, 34. I'm pretty him and Askren are the same age, and Askren's 34.
He's 34. Okay.
Yeah, because they went to Mizzou together.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like best friend teammates, all that.
I know John Jones is 31.
Mm-hmm.
That's a talented family, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was impressive because he just completely dominated Tyrone Woodley.
It wasn't even fair.
It was, and by the fourth round, Woodley had nothing left.
No.
He was done. He was gassed, and it was
he quit on himself too. He just after the third round was over, he mailed it in.
It was over. He just accepted his fate at that moment.
And this is my thing with Tyrone Woodley. Tyrone Woodley, before he won the title, and maybe the first Wonder Boy fight when he fought Stephen Thompson, I loved Tyrone Woodley. I think he was probably one of my favorite fighters. Ever since he won that title, completely different fighter.
Really?
Completely different. He used to just knock people out. Cold. And then ever since he won the title, like the first Stephen Thompson fight, which was a split decision technically, that was one of the best fights I've seen in a while. And they were just trading with each other. Woodley rocked him a couple times. Thompson was teeing off on him for a couple of rounds. That fight was back and forth. They ran it back, and I think combined they threw like 64 punches in 5 rounds.
Oh, that's boring.
And then after that fight, he fought Damian Maia, I believe, and it was the same thing.
Can I tell you that I don't like Damian Maia, and I couldn't give you a reason why. I just don't like him.
Because Damian Maia, he's not a striker. I can tell you exactly what it is. He looks for the takedown, and then he just looks for submissions.
Maybe
He won't stand up. He won't trade. He won't swing like haymakers. That's not the kind of fighter Damian Maia is. Because I remember watching Damian Maia back in the day when he fought Anderson Silva, and that was hands down the most boring fight I've ever seen in my life. And Damian Maia, he dropped down to welterweight, and he's a little more entertaining than he used to be. But if you love jiu-jitsu and grappling and all that stuff, you'll like Damian Maia.
Then it's probably probably porn for
yeah.
you.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. Woodley has to go back to his killer instinct.
Can he at this point in his career?
I mean, you better hope so. If not, you're not coming close to that title ever again.
And Usman was very respectful after the fight. I thought that he was really cool.
He's humble.
Yeah, very humble. And gave, Woodley a ton of credit. Said when you talk about the greatest welterweights ever, that guy's got to be in the conversation.
I agree.
But now he's the champion, and it'll be interesting to see. He's 15-1 now. And hasn't he won like 14 straight fights?
Yeah, he's been a man on a mission for the past couple of years.
That's insane.
And he's been impressive in his last like 3 or 4 fights.
That to dominate Tyron Woodley like that, I was impressed.
Oh, it wasn't even fair.
No, it wasn't.
And it makes me mad because I was going to put money on him, and I didn't do it.
And he didn't. My cousin bet on Woodley. He was not happy. Then we went to the main event where John Bones Jones fought Anthony Smith. Okay, he dominated the fight, but it didn't come without controversy because he almost lost by being an idiot.
Yes. In typical John Jones fashion.
Yeah, threw a knee at a down point. He almost pulled a Greg Hardy, like what Greg Hardy did.
Yeah. Fucking Greg Hardy.
And when he threw one earlier too, and I was like, "Yo, don't do that."
Mm-hmm.
like you're gonna ruin it for yourself. And then he threw another one. He connected with it. And if you're Anthony Smith, I guess it's commendable, but why not just go, "Oh, I can't fight anymore," and just go home with the title?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a commendable thing to do to say, "No, I don't want to win that way," but
yeah,
you were being dominated in every which way. I mean, I think Jones ended up landing like 100 more punches and 100 more strikes in general.
Oh, he teed off on him for like the whole fight.
Yeah, and it was, I like the way John Jones fights, where you can see at the end of rounds is when he tries to get the knockout. Like, if I'm going to knock you out, it's coming in the last 15 seconds because he doesn't want to put himself in a crazy vulnerable area.
Yeah.
He's ridiculous.
He's a freak.
His kicks are just like, he hit him with one of his spinning back kicks right in the stomach.
Yes.
And Smith went flying like halfway across the ring.
Yeah, I think that was the second round because I remember that one. He pushed him back like 10 feet. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, like just the torque he creates and the power in that, it's unbelievable. But that was almost his second loss.
Yeah.
If Anthony Smith is, I don't want to say less of a man, but all it takes is for him to go, nope, I don't want to continue. And John Jones loses.
And you know what would be the funny thing? That second loss, both of his losses would have been DQs.
Yep. The first one was against Luke Skywalker.
No comment.
If you've listened to our show, you know what we mean.
Yeah.
But so John Jones now 24-1 in his career. What can he do at this point? Like, because he's really kind of just competing against himself.
There's nothing he can do. I mean, he could go up to heavyweight, but why?
There's no reason.
No.
I mean, and they
He's
keep.
there's zero chance he can drop down a weight. He can't make that weight cut.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he can't make that cut.
He wouldn't be healthy.
No.
And then
That's when he'll be vulnerable and could actually get an actual loss on his record.
And then I know people like want to see him fight Cormier again. I got to be honest, it doesn't do much for me. That doesn't excite me. Like I think they're in different leagues.
I just want to see it one more time because I love the press conferences.
They are funny. Cormier is a funny guy.
I like Cormier. I like DC when he's not fighting John Jones.
Who did he knock out recently? The big guy who what was his name? My balls is hot. Didn't he fight him?
Oh, Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he knocked him out, and those press conferences were funny.
Yeah.
When Derek Lewis was like, I had to fight him because he disrespected Popeye's chicken.
Yes. Derek Lewis he's fighting, I think, Saturday. I think he's on a fight night.
Is that on ESPN Plus?
It might be. He's fighting soon though. I remember seeing the preview for it.
Okay, I got one more thing to say about UFC 235. I don't have a major problem with this, but originally, Diana was going to come out with us to watch the fights, but she wasn't feeling well. So she's like, and she had work the next morning. I texted her when I got home at 1:45 in the morning, and I said, good thing you didn't come out, because I just got home.
Yeah.
I mean, these things go late.
Because you can't predict them.
You can't predict
Especially,
them.
The thing is also, and there's 2 title fights, so that's 2 guaranteed 5-round fights if they go the distance, which both of them did.
Yeah.
So that's, right there alone, that's an hour.
Also, I need to call out Tommy's Tavern on Staten Island for something. You closed the kitchen at 11.
Ooh.
What are you doing?
That is a horrible look.
Yeah. Like, I was all ready to order another appetizer, and she came around. She was like, all right, just so you know, we're closing the kitchen, so if you want something, you got to order now. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's bad.
Forget it. Like, I mean, like I said, I got home at 1:45, so those fights went at least another 2 hours.
Yeah, they had to be over by, probably 1:20-ish.
Around 1. Yeah, it had to be after 1. It was, yeah, closing the kitchen at 11 is a bad look.
Yeah.
At least go to midnight. Especially
on a night where, it's going to be packed and there's something going on, like a sporting event.
Yeah, and a lot of people left after they closed the kitchen.
Yeah, I wouldn't have left, but...
But you know how MMA is. If you're not into it...
Oh, trust me. I hate that. There's a lot of casual fans out there.
A lot of casual fans in You know how annoyed I am every October? Or every April when Rangers fans would come out of nowhere?
They're the worst.
Yankees fans all of a sudden. We love the Yankees. You can't name 5 players. Get out of here. And then those are the people...
Derek Jeter's the best. Yeah. He hasn't played in 4 years, Chief.
And then those are the people who somehow end up getting second row seats to the ALCS. And you're like, what the hell are they doing there?
Yeah, doesn't that piss you off?
That makes me so mad.
When you know you're so like
I live and die with this shit.
Yes. I am a bigger fan than you. Why are you at these games while I'm sitting at home on my couch?
And I'm sitting here watching you.
Oh, you got to meet Henrik Lundqvist for free at a charity event?
And you called him Henry?
Yeah, fuck you.
It's ridiculous. Although I did, my brother-in-law went to the 94 celebration.
That's pretty cool.
And he gave me the ring that they got, the replica ring.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a pretty cool little memento to have. But, I think we had some fun today.
Yeah, can we talk about one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Jason Witten.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Good story.
Why are you tormenting me?
I forgot all about that. You know why I forgot about it? Because it happened while I was getting a root canal. That'll
do it. But Jason Witten, from the bottom of my heart, fuck you.
I've joked that Jason Witten's biography will just be called How the Hell Was He So Open? Because that's just how I feel when I watch him play.
I want to say it was 3 or 4 years ago. opening Sunday of football, and the Giants had the late game against the
Giants
Cowboys,
Cowboys.
and the Giants were up with like a minute and a half left.
Pat Sorrow, our buddy Pat. This just feels like a Giants loss. He said that with like a minute and a half left.
And I said, I'm like, yeah, and it's going to be Jason Witten just standing with his dick in his hand in the end zone. And what happened?
Jason Witten.
Standing with his dick in his hand in the end zone for a
Romo
touchdown.
was awesome on that last drive too.
He was.
I miss
Pre-Dak
watching
Prescott
Romo play.
days.
I'm one of the few that like Tony Romo.
I think
Sure
I
you
like
don't
him.
miss it.
I think I like him if he wasn't a Cowboy.
Yeah, because he was a good quarterback. But it's like if he was a Viking, I probably would have hated him. Or a Bear. I don't know if I hate the Vikings or the Bears more, to be honest with you.
Currently or all time?
All time. The Lions don't bother me at all because they've never done anything. But
Yeah, you can't really be mad about the Lions.
no, and I like Matt Stafford, but
Yeah.
the Bears and Vikings, I couldn't pick one.
I think you're going to hate the Bears more in the upcoming years.
I agree because that defense is stacked.
Yep. Mitch Trubisky. Oh, look, here it is on TV. Derek Lewis is fighting Junior Dos Santos
There we go.
this Saturday.
Okay, that's and then maybe that's an ESPN Plus that I'll look into.
Yes, it is.
I tried signing up for it. They wouldn't take my information.
Do you know what? I got it the first card they did on ESPN Plus, which I believe was the Dillashaw Cejudo fight.
What is it?
I think
$5 a month?
it's either that or $9, and it's worth it.
I've heard that they put a lot of like content on there.
Yeah, you get a bunch of games, like out of market games throughout the day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like there's random hockey games. Like I watched because I didn't get the center ice package for hockey this year up here,
Me neither.
but
With work, there was no reason for me to get it. I wouldn't be able to watch them.
yeah.
Although
Yeah,
I
me
did
neither.
get the MLB.TV because they automatically charged me.
Yeah, they automatically renew it.
I was like, oh shit, $120 out of my account.
It
I was
auto
like, what
renewed.
just happened?
It auto renewed for me too. Thanks, Dad, since you got it for me for Christmas, and I guess you didn't know it auto renewed. So I just hit you for like $85. And if you happen to be listening to this, don't text me about it.
Don't at me. All right, Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mikey_DubsNY and also on Instagram at Mike_Wimmers WIMMERS.
The Wimmers. And you could find me on Twitter at JJPix13 and on Instagram at John Picarello. No H in John. That would be my father. And we will be back next week with episode 9. As always, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Please share it with your friends, with your family if you like what you heard. And as always, thanks for helping us stop the nonsense. Talk to you next week.
Peace.